Hey everyone, June 11th, about 5:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4-hour chart of Bitcoin, BTC, USD on the BitFinex exchange. The video is not investment advice. It's done for educational purposes only. Now, if you've watched my prior videos, you know that we did have an uptrend line on this chart, and that went from the 6,000 to the 6,400. Let me just kind of draw it out here. We broke down below that line. Not only did we break down below that line, but we also broke down below the downtrend line. And in my prior videos, I talked about how if price broke that downtrend line, or sorry, that uptrend line, which was the green one, which met price at about 6,950 to 7,000, then price would head down to about 6,400, and that's exactly where I think we're going. And honestly, I think we're going even lower than that, because what we have is a drop, and then we're having a somewhat of like a basing period. So like price is like gathering energy, but I'm not seeing the volume there either. So volume is dropping as we're gathering this energy, and more than likely what's going to happen is that we're going to have a continuation of the waterfall. If we take out 6,400, I think we easily take out 6,000, which could lead us into about the mid 5,000 range. If we hold up here, start to base out, push back up, whatever, that's a whole different analysis. But as of now, it looks like price is going to head lower on Bitcoin, okay? Of course, there's going to be wiggles. Nothing just drops immediately, you know, one way in one direction without some form of wiggles. But the overall trend is down, and we can see that notated by the red line. We can also see that by the orange downtrend line right here. Let me just change the color because we have a couple orange lines on here. I'm just going to make it red as well. So anyways, we can see the selling pressure on this chart. You can also see that the movements in price have become smaller and smaller and smaller. And what I think that is that we've had blatant manipulation in this market, and that's what happens. You have big money, manufacturer move, dump into small money. Small money can't sustain the trading, so what happens is price topples over. Multiple iterations, two big iterations of it, smaller iterations of it. We can see that throughout the ways as well. So anyways, there's just tons of it. If you've been watching my video, you know, we've literally seen the same exact thing occur. It's like insanity in this market with this manipulation. Now, it happens across all different markets, but finally you have the Department of Justice launching an investigation that could be partly due to why we did not see another intervention in here. And we may still see an intervention. Do not get me wrong. That big bar could easily still form on this chart, but I do think we have more downside before any of that starts to happen. Now, one thing I'd like to point out too is that you have this crap about these exchanges being hacked, and that's the reason why price drops. Every single time there is a big drop in Bitcoin or in the cryptocurrency market, it's always blamed on hacking. It's not the obvious manipulation of price, it's the hackers, right? Is there hacking? Sure, I'm sure there's hacking. I'm not trying to deny that and say that's just a lie. But the thing is, it's like, it's just a joke that every single time price takes a hit, right? And we know exactly what's going to happen. If you've been watching these videos and you've been following along, I talked about it just in my last video. When this happens, everybody knows what's going to happen. But yet every single time it happens, it's always hackers, or it's always aliens, or some wild and crazy crap that everybody makes up to justify why price is toppling over. No, it's manipulation. Big money had just dumped their position into small money, and price is toppled over. So anyways, that's what we see here, and that's what makes me think that we still have more downside in price, and it's not going to be pretty anytime soon. But I do not think it's the end of the market, right? So if we start tearing through and dropping way below 5,000, that's going to be a whole different story, but that's just pure fantasy land right now. Price needs to get below 6,400, and then it needs to get below 6,000 before we could even talk about the mid 5,000 range. So anyways, that's what I see. I'm definitely going to be in the bearish camp on price here. This looks like a continuation move to me. On my prior video, I talked about like an inverse cup and handle here. That move down kind of puts you right into about that mid 5,000 range. Anyways, I'm not a pattern trader, but it just so happened I saw that on the chart, and I talked about it in yesterday's video, and it definitely looks like it's coming to fruition. That happens a lot with patterns. They will come to fruition because you have so many people comfortable looking at these chart patterns. So that's it for tonight. There's really not much else to talk about. Volume's dropping yet once again. We see this every time price is dropping, it's trying to base and push back up, volume starts dropping out. What's happening is obviously the big money's leaving their position, small money's coming in. It's just not enough to sustain the avalanche of what's occurring in this market. And if the Department of Justice is launching an investigation, some of those big players were coming from some of those exchanges that are being investigated, then that could also lead to price dropping further down than it normally would, in big giant quotations. By normal, I mean manipulated normal. We could settle much lower into here. It doesn't mean it's the end of the market, but just understand that there's more than likely some more pain ahead before we start to go back up. So I thank everybody for the time, everybody for their support. If you hear my kids screaming in the background, sorry, I got a 3-year-old and he runs around like crazy. But again, you know, if you do like the video, please like, comment, subscribe, follow. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your support. I hope you have a great day, great night, depending on where you are in the world. And on top of that too, if you have not joined the Slack channel, it's absolutely free. Over 350 members there. It's all cryptocurrency oriented. It's just a very nice community of people, and you can visit that. You can get that link off my website at geometriccharts.com. At the bottom, there's a link to my Slack channel and my social media accounts. And other than that, I'll talk to everybody tomorrow evening.